call upon the member from Hennepin, Representative Loon, to introduce her bill.
Thank you, members. Mr. Speaker, House File 4328 is the Education Finance and Policy Omnibus Bill. And Representative Erickson will be speaking more specifically to some of the policy provisions incorporated from her omnibus bill later. So I'm going to focus primarily on the money that's in this, the finance portion, and how we've invested it. So House File 4328 spends an additional $30.2 million for fiscal year 19. And that includes $28.5 million for student safety and school security. And I did a quick calculation. So 94% of the money in the bill for fiscal year 19 is all for school safety and a broad umbrella. And I will come back to that in a minute. And there is $27.5 million ongoing for that particular purpose as well. And then we're going to include charter schools and cooperatives, which have not received any money specifically for school safety in the past. I want to thank very much the governor and the commissioner for their engagement with us in the process of crafting this bill, offering their suggestions. I think we took all of the best ideas presented from many sources to come up with this package. And the school safety package is robust, and it's one that has been a good process in terms of sharing ideas and developing common ground. And so I want to give a thanks again to the governor and to the commissioner and to the many members who contributed toward this effort. So specifically in the area of school safety and security, $20.2 million is for the Safe Schools Revenue Program. Right now it's referred to as Safe Schools Levy. We're converting that to revenue because we are going to have some equalization in this program, which we haven't had before. It's been all borne by local taxpayers, and we're going to have the state share in this. I want to thank Representatives Haley and Representative Wills also had a proposal in to increase this funding. And again, we borrowed a recommendation from the governor and from Representative Marquardt expressed in committee that we ought to have at least a minimum or a floor for small schools with very low student populations. Because this money stream goes to schools according to the number of pupils in their buildings, some of them may not get very much, at least not enough to actually do anything to enhance their safety. So we're making sure that every district's going to get at least $30,000, and I think that's an excellent suggestion, and we're glad to incorporate that in the bill. $5 million for school-linked mental health grants. Again, this is an increase from what we're currently funding and ongoing, so this will be permanent as well. And this is very strongly bipartisanly supported. We heard bills from Representative Dabney and Representative Backer in the Education Committee on this. The governor, again, also included a similar amount in his school safety package. $2 million for physical safety audits that schools may want to do and secure assistance for, and this is an idea from Representative Jessup and Representative Christensen. $400,000 for school resource officer training. Representative Wills and Dabney worked together on this, and again, another excellent suggestion for providing training for school resource officers. $300,000 school threat assessment training. This is Representative Frankie's proposal, but also informed by recommendations from the governor in his proposal. Representative Anselmo has been very active in suicide prevention training. As you may recall, a couple of years ago, we required teachers as part of their continuing education to get training on suicide prevention so that they could help students who may be struggling with this. But we are now providing money to purchase that training, to make that training available to schools at no cost. So thank you, Representative Anselmo. And Representative Kunesh-Podein brought us the inclusion of Jake's Law, which we are really pleased to be able to include. And I believe the family is here today. She may talk about that a little bit more, but very compelling testimony in the committee of a sad death due to opioid addiction. And so we want to make sure that we're offering schools the opportunity to talk with their students about opioids and the misuse of drugs, and to make sure that we try to prevent any more tragedies among our young people due to that. So the student safety and school security sections are all in Article 2 of the bill. And again, we've taken multiple options to provide different funding resources and also flexibility for schools. Because what may be needed to enhance school safety and the climate for students in Eden Prairie may be very different than Ely or St. Cloud or another district. And so we want to make sure that we're offering schools the local control to address the things that they think is most important, and also in response to what their community expects with regards to school safety. As I mentioned, the levy, Safe Schools levy, is being converted to Safe Schools revenue. So it's going to be an additional $18 per student. Right now it's $36, so it'll go up to $18. And charter schools are going to get $18 per pupil. Right now they don't get anything for Safe Schools. Districts are going to be guaranteed a minimum of $30,000, as I mentioned. Cooperatives are going to be given $7.50 per pupil, according to their, for each of the member districts that they service. Intermediates will receive $15 per pupil right now in local levy, and we're going to give them a one-time bump of $6.50 per pupil. And not to single out the intermediates, but we have provided them some funding we haven't done for other schools in the last couple of budget cycles for training of their staff and also some additional mental health resources. So in order to try to meet our targets in that, that was the reason for making a difference there. The existing $36 per pupil will now be equalized. And what that means for folks who aren't steeped in the details of school finance, it means that if you're in a district that is relatively property poor and not as property tax wealthy as other districts, the state's going to help pick up some of the costs of that current $36. And finally, the long-term facilities maintenance program that all schools have, we're going to give some flexibility with those funds. So if schools want to adjust their plans and use some of those resources for safety improvements, they will be able to do that. That will be an authorized use with that existing revenue stream. So that's the school safety package. Again, it's robust. It's gotten high marks and praise from the commissioner and from others. And again, I want to thank so much all of the members who contributed to that. There's a few other spending items in the bill, not too many, but a few. I'll very quickly go over them. Monticello has had a glitch with their special ed funding when the formula was changed, and sort of a miscalculation that's led to a shortfall of $1.6 million, was a really difficult issue for them, so we're going to address that in the bill. Representative Knobloch has been talking to us about and we heard in committee the explosion of English language learners in the St. Cloud district, and so we're going to authorize a pilot so they can try basically special summer language academies for their English language learners, and hoping that that will show good results and something that we could emulate in other districts as well. Representative Jessup presented a bill and had very great testimony in the committee from the people at Mounds View. The Mounds View School District have really been working hard on getting so many of their students into classes that are providing college credit as well as their high school credit. We call it concurrent enrollment. But as you may know, the Higher Learning Commission is requiring that our teachers that teach these classes must have credits towards their master's degree in those areas, and this is expensive for our teachers, so $250,000 for them to get that training and that required criteria to continue offering these classes. Representative Bennett again presented a very innovative idea, a lot of students taking a Saturday morning welding class and some vocational enrichment in the area that she represents, or actually I think it's in Fairmont, a neighboring district. So we're going to try a vocational enrichment stream of money, $250,000 for that pilot. Representative Lee, some of his constituents and people in the St. Paul schools were really excited about an after-school program called Mind Foundry. And they're doing great work working on science and other after-school enrichment activities with the students in St. Paul schools. So, and they had some other foundation funding that has dried up, so we'd like that to continue. And so $200,000 for that. Representative Nash, a PSEO pilot to really partner the business community and higher education, technical schools, and our high schools all together to, again, provide more opportunities for our students to learn more about college and career paths after high school, and hopefully leading to very meaningful careers in areas where we need them to be employed. Representative Lehman, $50,000 through the Grand Rapids Children's Museum. We fund several children's museums in our bill, and so we're adding some money for Grand Rapids, which had not received it before. And then a new special education equity aid program. It will begin in fiscal year 2022. And so we'll have time for the special education working group that is also part of this bill to do their work. But Representative Knobloch, and with help from Representative Marquardt, had suggested that we should put funding in for this special education equity aid. And it has to do with establishing a regional average, and schools that are having higher than their regional average amount of cross subsidy, so spending a lot more on special education for the students they have, and probably a higher population of special education students than others, would receive some additional funding. There's $20 million for that beginning in fiscal year 22. We also create a temporary new library grant program to redirect some unspent funds from the regional library telecommunications aid, and we put that back into the library system. We think it would stay there, but encourage it to be used to fund some innovative broadband programs. So these libraries could purchase some equipment, maybe hotspots that could be checked out if people wanted to be able to maybe use their internet at home but didn't have access to it, and things like that. And very briefly, the only policy thing I will touch on, I'll leave that to Representative Erickson, was Article 4, and that's because I authored that particular bill. It has to do with the Teacher Code of Conduct, and this was heard in our committee and several other committees as well. So what we've done is we've taken the Teacher Code of Conduct, which was in rules, and we're putting that actually into statute and adding a provision making it very clear that it is not appropriate for a teacher to have sexual contact with a student. Even if that student is 18 years of age, that is just never appropriate. And so this makes it very clear. We're strengthening the criminal background studies, and they will include stays of adjudication and for offenses that would be a predatory offense, and making it absolutely clear that the licensing entities that license our teachers and school administrators are mandatory reporters. And so that has all been incorporated into what is in Article 4. So, and I want to thank, there were several members who introduced sort of pieces or elements of this, and Representative Dabney and Representative Fenton had both been two of those members who introduced sort of similar parts to that. So with that, you know, there may be some provisions in the bill that members still have a little heartburn over or disagreement. We have made some changes as the bill has moved through the process. I offered some author's amendment in Education Committee. I think that helped with some of those areas of disagreement, and we'll have a couple more here on the floor today. But I think we are moving forward with a bill that I hope will be very strongly and bipartisanly supported. I think it is deserving of that. And again, I want to thank very much the members who serve on the Education Finance Committee and on the Education Policy and Innovation Committees. All of you have made excellent contributions to this bill, and I look forward to the debate as we move forward with this.
Recognize the member from Mille Lacs, Representative Erickson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I too want to thank the members who serve on both finance and innovation policy for their good work this session, for their contributions, and for their constant input on various issues, and to thank our education partners, some of whom are sitting in the gallery, but who have constant contact with both Representative Loon and me and our staffs, and we appreciate their input. We also want to thank, as Representative Loon did, Commissioner Casalius, and I especially want to thank her staff, who worked so hard on ESSA and has proceeded to work diligently on embedding ESSA into the world's best workforce. So members, the policy sections of House File 4328 continue our efforts to provide educational opportunities for our students while providing for their safety, for accountability, and for transparency. The goal of the policy sections of this bill is to ensure that our students are safe while they are in our school buildings and in their classrooms, and at the same time learning at a level of expectation where they're going to have academic achievement that is going to meet their needs and the needs of their future. The policy bill highlights areas to help parents and teachers enable our students to reach their highest potential even when they may be dismissed from school. This proposal strives to create one accountability system. As most of you know, we have two accountability systems in our state, a federal accountability and a state accountability. This takes our new ESSA plan, our state plan, and embeds it in the world's best workforce, which is essentially our state plan for each district as they design it to meet their needs. So the benchmarks of the federal accountability system will now be in the world's best workforce. This policy also requests that the commissioner create a summative rating system to provide parents and students with a brief overview of student performance and growth. It also addresses student discipline and encourages schools to use non-exclusionary policies when possible. And in the event of a dismissal, it requires that our schools provide those students with alternative educational opportunities, and we are very happy to have our school-linked mental health services available to our students so that they are cared for in the most important way to us and to our districts and charters. It also clarifies what is required of a school when creating a student readmission plan. So some of this is new policy and some of it is modification of present law. This proposal also creates a stronger protection for students' data privacy. I want to thank Representative Lucero, who has worked tirelessly on this issue for several years. It has requirements in it, members, that you can read about starting on page 124. House File 4328 also increases timely parental notifications in several areas, both on page 49 and 57, information about test scores, disciplinary actions, and breaches of student data. The proposal also ensures that students are exposed to a wide variety of post-secondary options, or at least a wider variety, including the trades and branches of the military, and I thank both Representative Barr and Representative Rarick for bringing forth those proposals. The policy sections also place focus on stronger prevention of child abuse, which you know we enacted last year. It is called Aaron's Law, and now we are touching on other areas that can provoke child abuse. We want those protections in place and encourage our districts to include them in the health standards. We have also added Representative Kunish-Badin's Jake's Law, which adds substance misuse to the health standards and to provisional curriculum that districts may want to choose. We have a special education working group to review special education delivery as well as the rising costs, especially in light of the cross-subsidy. And this group will be working over the interim to come up with ideas to provide good information for us to provide that relief and to ensure that our students are correctly placed when needed in our special needs services. House File 4328 strengthens laws that require respectful treatment of all of our students, regardless of whether or not they have an outstanding school lunch balance. And I thank Representative Juergens for offering those ideas in this proposal. And you can read more about that, members, on page 130. And we have dyslexia screening, which is something we've been working on for several years now. Dyslexia Decoding Group is instrumental in helping us move in this direction so that we can be screening students for a malady that has occurred over and over. And we've heard about it from the very famous to many in our society whom we never expect might be suffering from this deficiency called dyslexia. So we're hoping that we can move move many students forward through a screening process in kindergarten, first and second grade, when these children are not reading at grade level. And we have an expert now in the Department of Education. We enacted this last year, and so we have a specialist in dyslexia, and we think, Mr. Speaker and members, that this is going to be most helpful for helping our districts. So members, with that, I will conclude my remarks on the policy section of House File 4328.
I recognize the member from Ottertail, Representative Nornes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Before I begin, could I have a point of personal privilege, please?
State your point of personal privilege.
Twins are ahead in the 7th inning, 3-0. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The higher ed portion of the education bill takes up a lot less room, and we didn't have that much as far as policy and that much as far as the target is concerned, too. I'll just run through a couple of policy items we have. First of all, there is a sexual assault policy change that requires the University of Minnesota to collect statistical data on incidents of sexual harassment. We also, as you may know, or maybe not, we've changed the process where we elect regents. We replaced the Regent Candidate Advisory Council with a legislative commission, and that will include 4 members from each chamber and 2 from each party. That would take effect next year. There's a policy dealing with affordable textbooks. Representative Daniels had a bill requiring that and requires the Minnesota State to develop a plan to increase the use of affordable textbooks and instructional materials. That seems to be an ongoing issue. Also, we changed the appeal process for sexual misconduct for findings involving University of Minnesota employees. Those are kind of the highlights when it came to the policy parts of this bill. Now, the finance part, we had a target of about $5 million. Office of Higher Education will receive $350,000. That goes to the state grant program. As you know, that helps all students. There is $100,000 for the Agricultural Educators Loan Forgiveness Program. And $50,000 goes to continue the funding for student loan debt counseling services. That's something we have funded in previous years. There is $5 million one-time appropriation to the universities, to the Minnesota State College and University system. Of that, $1 million is set aside for a cybersecurity program at Metropolitan State University. That's a bill from Representative Albright. And $4 million is set aside for campus support at Minnesota State Universities. The other expenditure that's in our bill is $500,000, a one-time expenditure to the University of Minnesota, and for no particular dedicated purpose. Members, that kind of covers it for the higher education portion. Thank you.